it looks attractive to say, well, maybe I don't need a tool. I can piece these things together. I can use free Google. I can, do all these different things. But you brought up HIPAA compliance. That's huge. And these tools that are free are not HIPAA compliant. And if you're a one-person show or you're just trying to get started, your time is most valuable spent getting clients, finding staff, delivering care versus trying to figure out how to build your own.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Science. We are live here in our studios here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have a special guest with us. I'm really excited. We have Charlene here with us. We have a lot to get into, a lot to unpack, but she's here in Atlanta visiting us. So let's welcome her to the show, guys. Oh yeah, with the toes. Yes, with the toes. Absolutely. Welcome to Beyond the Science, guys. Please like and subscribe if you have not liked and subscribed to the podcast. Welcome. How's Atlanta been treating you so far?
It's good. I love Atlanta. Don't love the airport.
Ooh, she came out giving Atlanta shots already, guys. Wow.
I love Atlanta. I actually was driving around this morning, and it's just such a fun, cool place. So
it's a little. Right here, it's a rainy day, so you're not really getting, the full energy of Atlanta right now. But we love our city, don't we, guys?
We love it. We love it.
I would say. So, you've been here before though, so I don't have to give you the rundown. I don't have to give you a rundown. So, but we're here. We had a nice dinner last night, so we were kind of getting to know each other. Me and you've kind of met through LinkedIn and stuff like that. So thanks for being here, guys. This episode is probably brought to you by Office Puzzle, practice management platform built to simplify operations for ABA agencies, clinicians, and multidisciplinary teams. Office Puzzle focuses on clean design, affordability, and tools that actually make providers' lives easier. So we're excited to partner with them on this episode, guys. All right. So just kind of talk to us a little bit about who you are, kind of how you got into this space, and if you would just tell us a little about yourself for the audience that don't know you.
Yeah, happy to. So I'm Charlene. I work at Office Puzzle. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. I've been with them for about 8 months now. Loving it. Great team. As far as how I got here, I'd love to say that it was a decision, but really my entire career has been. I kind of go where the wind blows. I'm very, not opportunistic, but I never knew what I wanted. And so I just kind of, when opportunities were presented to me, I figured, why not take a shot? So early in my education, I've always known that I wanted to help people. I'm very empathetic, almost to the point where I feel everyone's pain. And so I wanted to go into social work. I have a degree in psychology, and I was volunteering with Children's Home Society. So I went on a couple home visits, and I could see the impact of the work, but I knew that I could not do that on a day-to-day basis. I couldn't live my life the way I would need to and have to have that on me. And so I made a hard right turn. I went into management and data and analytics and kind of felt guilty for years that I made that decision instead of doing something more impactful. And this is where that opportunity pops up. When I moved to LA, I was randomly introduced to a founder who was working for founded a practice management software that was serving clinicians, mental health clinicians. And in that moment, it just clicked. I was like, I love software. I love organization, super nerdy about organization. And then the company was super mission driven. He was a clinician and he was focused on helping people. And so that's when it hit me that I can work for companies that help people who help people, impact, expanding my impact. So, I had been there for a really long time and I was ready for another challenge. And yet again, just completely by chance came across Office Puzzle and found another opportunity where I can help a small, thriving company increase their impact and offer their services to more and more people.
So let me ask, what does a day look like for you at Office Puzzle?
Oh, man. Well, so I love variety. I get incredibly bored. I'm a builder. And so a day, I don't have a single day. Right now, my main focus is growth. So really thinking about how do I help Office Puzzle expand from South Florida, where they're mostly centralized, to bringing our product to everyone in the country. So I think a lot about building relationships. I know that in this space, it's all built on trust. So I'm reaching out to people, making connections, but that next minute I'm looking at budgets, I'm hiring. I couldn't even describe a day-to-day deal. I do everything and anything and nothing all at once.
See, the all-in-one handy woman.
Wow, that's cool.
So I guess I have a question just from a kind of a C-suite kind of perspective, like for those maybe aspiring to kind of be in that position. Do you have any advice for people who maybe wanted to be kind of doing the kind of work that you're doing? What would be your advice to them?
Yeah. I think so. I've always been pretty ambitious in my career. I feel like I'm really good at working. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I'm less good at relaxing. So I've always known that I wanted to just continue growing in my career. And for me, it was never, I want to be in the C-suite. It was, I want to have more and more impact, and I want to have more and more accountability and responsibility. So I think if someone truly wants to get into that role, the best way to do it is you think about the job that you're in, and you think about how can you go above and beyond and be the most impactful in that role versus, only having your eyes set on the next thing and forgetting that you have to learn along the way. So early in my career, I maybe wanted to have more responsibility, but I wasn't ready to take it. And so just like taking advantage of the roles that you're in and doing the best in those, and your time will come if that's the path for you.
Yeah, I love that. What do you think about you, Joe? Talk to us.
I'm waiting on Straight Talk with Joe because I want to hear about this, this balance. Like, because you're so, you're driven, right? I hear it. I hear Office Puzzle. I hear the pain points that Office Puzzle is designed to solve. But I'm just looking and I'm like, man, you got to fly out. You got children, you got a husband.
Oh, wait. Let's wait, man.
I'm waiting.
Wait till we get to that. All right, let's wait, man. Sorry, can you let's get into it. First of all, why the name Office Puzzle?
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell the story. I'm not the founder, so I will tell their story. But yeah, the name behind Office Puzzle, it actually first started as ABA Puzzle. And I'll just tell the story of like how it got started because that's important for the name. But so we kind of joke that it was built out of love, and our CTO purely just trying to impress his girlfriend. So she was an RBT and just, like inundated with all the documentation, all the work. There were no tools provided to her. And so he's a tech guy. He's built products before, and he saw what she was trying to do, and he built her a documentation tool. And so she started taking all of her notes and submitting them, and people were like, what is this? Where did this come from? How did you do it? So other people started to use it. So it was not even an idea of like, how can we build a company and make some money? It was literally solving someone's problem. So they decided to build ABA Puzzle. And I think the puzzle was a little bit of like, I know that is a representative icon of autism, but also running a business and being in this role, there's so many pieces, and sometimes it can feel like a complex puzzle trying to fit it all together. What they found then was that it wasn't just notes, and they realized, well, we need all of these other components, and you can keep them integrated and seamless, and you can like really help run a business smoother. And so when they expanded the product functionality, they also noticed that people in other specialties were just naturally using the product as well. So at that point, I think that was more of like a strategic business decision to realize why limit ourselves to ABA, especially when the field itself is moving into multidisciplinary. Like we can support more than just ABA. And so we renamed to Office Puzzle.
I love that.
So let me ask, what pain points do you think Office Puzzle hits the most for business owners and BCBAs, RBCs?
Yeah. So I have a really unique take on this because I think that in general, practice management, I won't say they're all the same, but it is, it's the same core functionality. And so I can say, oh, well, we hit the pain point of efficiency and all of these different things, but every practice management probably hits that same pain point. I think what's unique to Office Puzzle is that we're thinking about how we actually connect everything. And so instead of saying, oh, well, we hit the pain point of scheduling, we hit the pain point of billing and all these different things, we're actually taking some of the effort of having to think about this stuff, and it all flows together. So we're proactively thinking about what do you need to have in your documentation? We're automatically putting that information in there, like in the demographics and the information that we can pull right from the system. How do we ensure that you don't have a headache when you get to billing because you're missing something that you need for compliance and billing? So I think that is like the major pain point, is that we're trying to remove the thinking from the work that you don't necessarily need to do, so that your focus and your thinking can be on your clients.
No, I love that. I love that you spoke about, I mean, I know you guys are looking at outcomes and you guys are looking at basically making it seamless, but I have to say there are some things that separate you guys. We haven't talked about that.
No, we can talk about that, but as far as pain point, I mean, there's tons, but I think that sometimes practice management's like, I think it's important to have those tools and to really think about, well, what are you trying to make those decisions on? So one of them, like, this is not what we lead with, but, you know, oftentimes you need these tools earlier in starting your business, but you're kind of priced out of the tools that you need, especially when you think about all-in-one. So what we offer is a very affordable, high value, all-in-one product. So instead of saying, well, if you want all of it, you've got to go and pay more than you're even making right now and take a leap of faith, or you can choose, you know, the more affordable pieces, but you don't have the full end-to-end solution for what's going to actually help you grow as a company. So I would say our price point is definitely very friendly to people who are wanting to get started and allowing for more entry into the market. And we scale with companies. So we have people who run, you know, five staff member practices all the way up to 500 staff member practices.
That's amazing.
So I'm just throwing this out there because I'm hearing about this product, right? I'm hearing that it affects like the totality of the child. I'm an SLP, I'm an OT, I'm an ABA therapist, I'm a BCBA. I'm sitting at the table. How does Office Puzzle solve the issue or collect the data to make sure that we all are in alignment for the growth of that client? So
I think part of what it does is that we allow you to create treatment plans based on the specialty that you're in. So in one system, you know, you can think of the child as one like user or like one profile in the account. But then within that, when you're creating your treatment plans, we've got music therapy, we've got ABA, we've got SL, you know, like all the different therapy models or fields that you might want to service for that child, you can put it in there. So now when you're looking at it, you can look at them holistically. And, you know, where we do try and define what our boundaries are is we're a technology company. While we were founded by, you know, people in the field, and that informs how we build it. We're not here to analyze the results, but we can make it a lot easier and surface it all in one place so that a BCBA or the care team can work together and look at it.
So I want to ask really quick, with you guys being a tech company, what's your approach to as far as HIPAA compliance and data security stuff?
Yeah, we're nothing without it. So that's absolutely like top priority for us, is that there's so much danger in technology. And so not only just from a like philosophical belief that we need to protect our users' data, our company can't exist if you have any kind of security HIPAA breach. People no longer trust you. So high trust is important all around the field, and it's no different for your security or your technology platforms as well. Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of one of those big things too that I think a lot of people have been talking about, that, especially with HIPAA compliance too, because there's been a lot of breaches that we've seen recently. Especially with the integration of AI. You know, AI it's kind of been one of those things in the past couple of years things are going crazy because of it, in a good way, but we've also seen some negative things happening as well. Are you guys ever going to kind of venture off into that space with regards to like using AI with the platform maybe in the future?
Yeah, so we've actually already have some AI integrated features. So one of the most notable ones is our note generator. Yeah. So when you actually go in, you have your session. Because we build out the treatment plans and we collect the data in the session, we also have all of the client data, where the treatment or the services took place, who the service provider was. We can, when you're going to do your documentation, it's literally like a click of a button and it auto generates it. And it tells you very specifically this is a starting point. This is meant to be a template. It's meant to ensure that you have the right structure in place, because sometimes, unfortunately, with billing and compliance, like you have to have your I's dotted, your T's crossed. Exactly. So we're providing you with the format and the starting point. So again, you're not spending your time having to like think of the words to put in there, but you can tweak and adjust. Also helps with newer individuals in the field to have that guidance in place, but to ensure that people aren't overly reliant on that and just using AI instead of doing the work that they're supposed to be doing. We also have functionality that will compare notes over each session to make sure that there is actual variability in the results of the notes, and they're not just copy pasting or just auto generating notes that don't reflect the experience that they had with the child.
I love that.
So Office Puzzle is having conversations with the insurance providers to ensure that these things are implemented, and also that, you know, these treatment plans and these additions could be successful.
Yeah, so we do have the ability to submit the payment, the claim request.
COB.
And so in order for us to do that effectively, we have to truly understand what those requirements are. So one of the things that actually helped us to succeed in Florida is that we were ahead of the curve with the changes to Medicaid and move to Sunshine Health, and we were prepared for that. We also have a really unique way where we don't force people to go through one clearinghouse. So we've actually built out our own. This is where I am not technical. It's some special file, but we can work with multiple clearinghouses. So we don't lock people into one, you know, or any specific insurance providers. And as we go into each new state, that's one of the first things that we do to ensure our product is ready to support clinicians in those states, is understand the insurance requirements.
Are you guys ahead of Georgia's changes coming?
We're working on it. Yeah. All right. I've got a news alert. Anything ABA hits my desk.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let me ask, right? You know, being in your position, I'm sure looking at a lot of data, do you have any advice to any business owners about mistakes or things that you're seeing that could possibly help them out?
Yeah, I don't like to overstate my, like I can speak very much on the business side of things in a few different ways. I think that start earlier than you think you need with tools. I think that oftentimes, because people, you know, you're taking a leap of faith starting business. I've never personally started business, probably because I'm too scared. It is, you know, it's a whole big jump to say, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to invest my own money. And, it looks attractive to say, well, maybe I don't need a tool. I can piece these things together. I can use free Google. I can, you know, do all these different things. But you brought up HIPAA compliance. Like that's huge. These tools that are free are not HIPAA compliant. And if you're a one person show or you're just trying to get started, like your time is most valuable spent getting clients, finding staff, delivering care versus trying to figure out how to build your own.
It's a little PTSD right there.
Build your own platform. Like I can't tell you how many people I've talked to. They're like, oh, well, we've built our own solution and we've cobbled together all these things. And I'm like, I'm impressed, but also why? You don't have to do that. So I'd say finding a tool that will support you now and in the future, and seeing it as an investment, not a cost. Like if you think about, we'll use ours as an example, $19.99 per month. You've got two people. Like really think about how many clients you need to serve to just pay for that service. And it scales with you.
Guys, this episode is brought to you by Office Puzzle, a company committed to reducing daily stress providers experience by giving them simple, intuitive tools that work. Their mission is aligned with ours and supporting people who support families. We're grateful to have them presenting this episode today. Charlene, so one thing that I really admire about you is I met you literally on LinkedIn and we were kind of connecting. You kind of saw what I was doing, and you've always been about relationships. You've always been about people. And I love that you open about, I haven't been in this ABA space for a long time. Like it's not even been like a year since you've been with Office Puzzle. I think there's some value to that too, in terms of there's people who are in the ABA space, and I think sometimes we can be a little bit biased. So I like that you are kind of coming in with that kind of tech mindset and somebody who's not been in the space. But I do want to like ask you, what has been the most challenging thing for you so far? Maybe just not maybe being a clinician or not being able, like, what's been the most challenging for you in terms of being in this space and maybe not having an ABA background or more that psychology background?
Yeah. Well, so fortunately, I do have the background in psychology, and I was familiar with ABA. So I actually, like, at one of the conferences randomly ran into an old sorority sister. And I was like, oh, right, you went into ABA. And like we were able to catch up. So I was familiar enough with the field and the concepts of it. I know who B.F. Skinner is. I love psychology in general. So I felt that it was easy for me to steep myself in the field to learn as much as I can about it. I'd say the most challenging part is the data collection component makes this very unique. So in the role that I was in before with practice management, it truly is more of like the operational side of running a business. And so once you understand scheduling, billing, documentation, you kind of get the gist of it. ABA has added complexity because we offer data collection, and there is a unique true data, a clinical component to that. You cannot build data collection if you don't understand the actual clinical world.
Correct.
And so that was really challenging in thinking about how do I train new teammates to be able to do demos, because I purposely did not hire salespeople, but I also wasn't able to hire people who necessarily had ABA backgrounds either. And so trying to teach them not only about our company, our tool, but why is it important? Like the questions that you're going to be asked, you're not a clinician, so you have to find that boundary of where do we weigh in versus saying, hey, that's your role. We are tech people, but also understanding enough to be able to answer their questions, build a product that actually meets their needs. That to me has been like the biggest challenge, because you can't build data collection without having clinical experience.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it's good you had that psychology experience, though.
Yeah.
So let me ask, you talked about your most challenging. What has been your proudest moment in this last 8 months with Office?
Oh, wow. I think I'm going to have to say more internally to the team. Joining a new company is always challenging. And in the role that I was coming in at, it was expected that I was going to make a lot of changes. And having sat on the other side of things, so I was at a company that I had started out when we were about 20 people, and I've been there for years, and all these new people would come in and say, oh, you're doing things different than you should be. And, you get really defensive, you're very protective. So it was something that was important to me when I joined the company to really honor and appreciate and acknowledge what the team had done so far, while also being direct and transparent with what would need to evolve if we want to accomplish the goals of bringing Office Puzzle to more people and helping, this very mission-driven team understand why the business objectives of growing can also align with like the mission of, we believe in our product. We believe not just in our product, but in our team. Like, we're the right people to be working with. We care about our customers. Why limit that to Florida? Why can't we offer that in Georgia and Texas and all of these other states? So I'd say proudest moment was I, had to hire. We're not a big team, so we're not huge, and so hiring new people, bringing the team that's been there long, and finding that common ground and like merging them and creating a cohesive culture has been the hardest. So the hardest part, but also most rewarding.
So let me ask, because as you stepped into that role, right, there was this whole DEI thing, right, and how it was ended. A lot of companies were taking a different approach. So what have you done as far as the cultural nuances, the different voices, to make sure that, because a lot of that stuff is just punch words and media stuff, right? But what have you done to make sure that, everybody's on the same page, regardless of the cultural background with the company?
Yeah. So Office, it's actually a very interesting background for the company. So the two founders are brothers, immigrants from Cuba. And so we're based in South Florida. I would actually say the majority of our company is Latin. And so I wouldn't, I'm not going to lie. Like, it's not been an intentional, like, oh, I need to go and put out DEI initiatives, because the company started with this, like, we accept everyone and we're very open and we want to reflect our customers. So it's not been necessarily an intentional focus, but I think that it's just rooted in like the culture of the company.
I love that. I'm glad you're back to that question too, Coop. Coop always got the good questions.
He does.
I love asking this next question because it takes us like beyond the features and kind of more the human side. So can you share a story, even a small amount, about a provider or agency whose maybe life or practice changed because of Office Puzzle? Maybe someone who got their time back, or clarity or sanity, just kind of a good success story for maybe our clinics are out there, or people that are looking at maybe maybe looking at Office Puzzle, you have us share with our listeners?
Yeah. We have many. So I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is that we do have a lot of love for Office Puzzle. So I can share many stories. I'd say the one that's most top of mind, we've been giving him a lot of attention lately, is Armando in Houston, Texas. He runs Autism International Consulting. And we just did a story on him because the first time I met him, so I try and always meet customers. So I had phone calls with dozens of our customers. And because part of our goal is to move outside of Florida, I found Armando and just started chatting with him. And he told me his story. He's the first autism-owned practice in Houston. He's opening up his third clinic.
Wow.
And he just tells his story about how the doctors told his parents he wouldn't talk and they might as well teach him sign language. And to see him thriving is amazing. And he talks about, again, very much like what we share and what we try to make a priority, that, yeah, the product is great. So that's the bar, like the minimum. What he loves is that our customer service, the way that we work with our customers, the way that we actually truly support our customers has helped him to thrive. And that to me is just really rewarding to hear that, you know, we're delivering on the absolutely core parts of delivering a great technology, but making them feel like we're a part of the community with them. Because I think you can't really thrive in this environment without having a strong community.
That's true.
I love that. Wow. I'm excited about Office Puzzle. You know, I know you guys are expanding outside of Florida, and I want to get to that in a minute because I have some questions about how you guys are doing that. But for now, let's move to Straight Talk with Joe. We're bringing you guys Straight Talk with Joe, where we're going to get our parents' perspective in the grounds of everything involved. Take it away, Joe.
Oh, man, I'm just hearing about the great stuff, and I do have some more questions about Office Puzzle.
Yeah, and I can't talk more about the product. I know I keep skirting all the product.
I really want to know more about the product. But you're flying out here, based in LA, based in Florida, flying back. I heard that you've been with your husband since high school.
Yeah.
Where do you hear that from?
I don't know. But Bernie tells me stuff. Talk about that, the innovation that you have to have along with being a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
Talk about how those lanes intersect and how difficult it can be at times.
Oh, yes. So I don't even know where to start. I think it's a constant balance. I won't even say balance. The best thing I learned was a while back, someone explained to me, people always talk about work-life balance and they're thinking about it in such small increments of time and it's nearly impossible. And you have to like expand that scale to be weeks, months, years. And so there are different eras of your life and your experience where you might flex more in one way or another. So before I joined Office Puzzle, I was fortunate enough to be able to take 6 months off and spend that time with my children, help my son transition into elementary school, support my husband as he wanted to take a leap and move into a new role. And so I would say on a daily basis, there is no balance. It's complete chaos and it's challenging, but I know that there's support and that things ebb and flow. And right now, this is huge opportunity and a company that really needs my time and attention, and my children need it as well. And so, like I'm constantly trying to find that right flex point of where do I focus on work and where do I make sure that I have time with my kids.
That's a tough thing because and this is going back to Office Puzzle. So these are my Office Puzzle. So I personally, small business owner, I find pain points when you move either service lines. All right. So now I'm into school contracting and now I'm going to start to service adults in the state of Georgia. Or you make a decision on how many clients you want like that. Sometimes those next 3 or 4 clients can turn your business upside down because you just quickly realize, oh snap, I don't have the systems. I don't have that. And so how could Office Puzzle help a guy like me, 22 clients, adding multiple service lines, stress beyond stress? How could Office Puzzle help the small to mid-sized entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's who we're actually built for. So it's funny when, we do have those huge companies, but they grew with us. So I'd say a couple of like the really tactical specific things. We are thinking about the actual managing of staff and running a business side of it. And so the most basic but thoughtful features, like we have a dashboard for all of the HR onboarding. Like I know what it takes to like hire new teammates. There's paperwork there, and then in your field, there's even more because there's certifications and there's certain things that you need in place. So we not only have it where when you hire someone, you have all of those documents and you can send it to them so that they can fill out and you store them. But we have the ability to actually track expiration and it'll alert you when someone is, their paperwork's expiring. And if it's not updated, we'll block them from the system so that, or like block them from being able to provide services so that you're now in compliance. You don't have to have that and nagging in the back of your mind of like, oh, is everyone who's seeing a child right now, a patient, supposed to be? So I'd say it's the little thoughtful pieces like that we've built into the more comprehensive business tools that are meant to help just relieve even small things that can fester into like much larger stress.
So is everything a la carte or are there some things that are a la carte or is everything comprehensive?
No, everything. So we have intentionally built an all-in-one practice management and data collection software. So when we talk about that $19.99 per user per month, that's you get literally everything that we have is included.
I'm paying $80.
I mean,
we can talk about
that. But listen, that $19.99, like I don't want to just gloss over that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because one thing that we talk about here is accessibility. And, every product's not for everybody. You have higher tiers with people where it's looking like, but this is like something that makes it accessible. And we have the population that we all work with, we know that's a big deal. How are you guys able to sustain that price with such an obviously I've done my research. You guys have a great product. I've talked to people in Florida, but how do you guys sustain that $19.99 price with such an amazing product that you guys have?
Part of it is I think sometimes companies think they need more than they truly do. So just being really smart with our investments and how we build the team. What do we need to be able to build a great product, support that product? Because also like once it's built, we need to be able to support our customers. So we are thinking about AI, not just in the product, but in how we manage a team, because adding teammates can get costly. So thinking about how, where can we ensure that we're providing great human customer support, but also not spending so much time on things that can be effectively managed by an AI chatbot that people might actually prefer because they'll get the answer immediately versus waiting on someone. So it's about really finding the balance of efficiency, but not being so efficient that you then lose the customer service. So it's not, I won't say it's like an easy thing, but it's something that is so core and fundamental to the company that's built into the philosophy of how we grow as a team. And then also it's just like strong operations internally, building that efficiency into like how we actually work. I don't know what else. I can't give away too much.
I think it's amazing. Honestly, I think it's amazing. And I love that you guys are expanding outside of Florida. This product needs to be more than it's the state of Florida. It needs to expand. I know you're trying to get into Georgia, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But I think it's amazing. I think more people should know about it. I guess my question to you is, now that you guys have kind of established yourself in the state, like what's next for you guys? Like what's for the future of Office Puzzle? What would you guys like to see? Let's say the next 5 or 10 years. What would be the overall goal that you guys would want to have for the company? Yeah,
goal for the company is that we believe our product is a really high value, comprehensive product that can provide those entry points to people across the country. We don't need to limit ourselves to one market. So as far as like our goal is that we would like Office Puzzle to be a name that's recognized in the ABA field, regardless of what state you live in. From like a product standpoint, part of what we're doing is thinking about how can we. So each state, because of the Medicaid and like the insurance and just even differences in how people apply things, the beliefs of ABA, like each state may have different models. So what we're thinking about from the product perspective is how do we ensure that we offer a product that meets the needs of the clinicians and the models within those states, but is flexible enough that we don't have to have 50 different products to service 50 different state. So that's kind of our product strategy right now, on top of trying to figure out what are the next innovative areas that we want to go into. And that's where, I'm not allowed to talk about that piece, but that's really the thinking is like, we need to ensure that we're ready and flexible enough to, when you just talked about offering new service lines. We don't want it to be a headache when you say, well, I'm going to do in-home, but now I want to do school. We want it to say, yeah, Office Puzzle can do all of those things.
Man, I love
so
that.
Now you got to So can Office Puzzle, can it transition with the practitioner? So if I'm saying, hey, I want to do a clinic, but next year I want to open up a day program, is the product that flexible to transition with the innovation of the practice owner?
Yeah, I'd say right now we're probably 90% of the way there. So we have in-home, we have clinic-based. We have, I was telling John, one of our customers is a school district.
Yeah.
So we do have a variety of customers, and they'll use our product in the ways that suit them. I think that we've got, that last 10% to go to where we're truly flexible, where maybe you even select like what kind of service you're providing in what way, because I think right now, like, we'll get you most of the way there.
Correct. And that's I guess that's what I'm having problems with, is that I'm adding additional service lines, and I'm trying to make every service line their job easier through data collection. As you know, that's the baseline of kind of what we do. So adding the school contract, and I'm like, geez, the practice management system I have is okay, but it really wasn't designed for this.
Yeah.
Is this an interview or dang?
She gonna get $19.99 a month. We gonna talk about it. But no, so I'm just intrigued, because you don't really hear like, hey, like if I started VSS services in February of 2026 and I have the classic ABA, it just doesn't match. Right. So
we built into the system. So like it is really interesting, like the balance of flexibility and control. So if we say, hey, we're going to help you be compliant and have everything that you need in place, and HIPAA compliant, but also like the billing and insurance, we have to have some rigidity to say, no, you have to do this. Like it's not a question of like, should you, like, if you want to use it, you have to do it this way. But also, we're not the business owners. It is not our decision to say like how you want to run your business. So behind the scenes, we've got a number of configurations that our customers have control over to decide, do you want to allow overlapping events or no? How do you want to manage supervision? And they're, like literally little toggles or drop downs that you configure the product to meet your needs.
I love that.
So let me ask, what is, one of the ultimate goals of Office Puzzle, right? At that price point, you said one of your goals is not to compete with CR, essentially, Sapphire, those companies that are a little more pricier. So what is your goal as far as the ABA market?
I think that over time, all companies, like, we would want to see how we eventually support larger practices. And so when you say like we don't want to compete with CR, that's not our focus right now. We really believe that we've got a product that can allow people who want to start practices, who are passionate about the space, to be able to enter and have tools that make them, allow them to be like professional business owners. And I think that's really important. So we never want to lose that. But we also want to figure out, how do we grow with the practitioners? Where's the field going? So I think it's too early to tell, like, what does the future of Office Puzzle look like, 5-10 years from now? But I imagine that the intent is we grow with the field. So if we see that there's a shift towards multidisciplinary, and that is the evolution, our product needs to be comprehensive enough to do that really successfully. My experience, you guys will have to tell me if I'm wrong, is that when a business owner in ABA is growing, they typically will grow within ABA first, and then they'll start to add other services, because now you've got, ABA doesn't scale very well. It's like kind of one-to-one. That was like really shocking for me. So then it's like, okay, well, how can I help this one child with all the other services that they need? So I say that our future is evolving with the field.
I love that. I love that. I'll get back to that in a minute. All right, guys, this episode is partnered with Office Puzzle, a platform designed with real providers in mind. They're doing incredible work with streamlining scheduling and data collection. I think one thing, hopefully our listeners are getting really excited about this product because I know we're putting it out there. But I think one thing that me and you spoke about was how do you expand this product into other spaces? And I know one way we're doing that is a partnership that we formed with the ABA Collab. And we're going to be, and I don't want to give too much away, but we're going to be doing a pilot program in Q1. Can you give a little bit of teaser away of kind of what that could look like and what people could be expecting?
Yeah, absolutely. So the unique thing about Office Puzzle is that before I joined, there was not a single thing of marketing. So we went to conferences, but the growth to this point has been purely word of mouth. So, they started sharing the product. They were very generous. They were just getting it out there. And so while we don't believe that that is what will get us into new states, because you have to be there, they were there in person, we really want to maintain that philosophy of being a part of the community.
Yes.
Of course we're going to do ads. You'll see ads somewhere, but how can we actually know the customers that we'll be serving in each of these different markets? So the pilot is meant to be a way to kind of replicate the experience in Florida of saying, hey, we believe in our product. We think it's great. Give it a shot. What do you think? Tell your friends about it. And so that paired with how do we make sure that we're fully ready for Georgia? We have some customers already, but we want to make sure that it's working for the use case. So we had come up with the idea together of, can we find a group of people who are trying to start up businesses or looking for a product, let them use our product for a few months with our support, where we would help onboard. They'd get all the same support and training that all of our customers get, but not charge them for it. And then from that, just ask for feedback, ask for learnings. And then we just have this confidence that if, a few different practices are using it and they love it, each one tells someone else, and all of a sudden it kind of grows in that grassroots organic way.
This is really exciting. So she's being really humble about it, but essentially what we're forming here is this pilot program where you guys are going to be allowing a certain amount of users to use this product for free, and in return give you guys feedback, on what it is, if there's any improvements, what they liked, what they value, what can we do to change that. So man, I think that's great that you guys are going to be doing that here in Georgia. So if you guys are listening now and that's something that you guys would particularly want, hit us up, because everybody can't get it, but we will have a select amount of users that will be able to preview this in Q1. So I'm really excited to partner with you guys on that. And thank you guys for bringing that to Georgia. I think it's going to be a great thing.
Of course. Yeah. And one of the things we want to do is build out like a clinical advisory board. So find some customers who can serve on a board, because we talked about how that clinical experience is so important for the data collection. So this could also be a great way for us to find someone who can sit on the board and have a longer term impact on the product.
Yeah, I love it. And in addition to that, you guys are also contributing to the Dr. Daly Legacy Fund.
Oh, Dr. Daly.
Yeah, so they're going to be giving away scholarships. Not only are we going to give them a scholarship, I'm going to clap it up for that.
That's tough. Yeah.
But we're also going to potentially have people that earn the scholarship, also as entrepreneurs, also using the product. Wow. So essentially, we're going to be having a lot of feedback coming back for Office Puzzle with people who are enjoying the product and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to bring that into Georgia. And we really appreciate your contributions and support in that regard. Awesome. We're happy to support you guys, and we're supporting each other.
We're excited. And I think that in Florida, Office Puzzle helped many companies, like people, like entrepreneurs, become business owners. And so it's just a cool thing to be able to continue supporting that in new states.
Yeah. And I'm seeing you guys pop up at conferences. We saw you at FABA, we saw you at GABA. And some stuff coming with GABA too now. We got to talk about that, because I know you're trying to do some big things with GABA. But thank you for all your support. And we're really looking forward to the pilot, as well as being able to give out those scholarships. So thank you so much. Shout out to Office Puzzle.
Yeah, happy to do it.
And Charlene, like you started with one very important word, which all therapists, clinicians, and parents want to hear, and that's empathy. So that empathetic approach to the grassroots of how your company is, that's super important, because that's what we want to hear. Like we want to hear like, hey, because if you fix my pain points, I can fix theirs.
Yes.
Right.
Woo, so that drop the mic quote. Yeah. You fix my pain points, I can fix theirs.
Or I can try, right?
Yes.
But I can try better, right?
Yes.
And the therapist can.
Yes.
The DCBA can, the OT, the SLP. Everyone now, we have the data, we have the pain points. We know now we can get in and we can try to work in that treatment plan to make sure that kid, behavior reduction skills increase and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And I also want to say shout out to you, because one thing that was very, very big when we started out the episode is you said what was and what wasn't for you. And I think that that's something that a lot of people struggle with, where even they know something's not for them and they staying in it, you know. And I think that the fact that she was able to say, hey, I like this and I could be impactful, but this is for me and this isn't for me is amazing, you know. And I think that, you know, to do that and then be able to be in your calling essentially or in your space to grow is something that as people listen to this episode, like listen to that, you know, even with your comment of like, hey, I'm not a business owner, you know, as you're growing companies and doing your thing and traveling around, which you are a business owner, because that you know, that rental's tax write-off, them flights are tax write-offs, you know what I'm saying? But
entrepreneurship.
But to say like, hey, like this is what I'm good at. Like I don't need to be essentially the boss of, I'm sure you got people under you, you know, but to be able to say this is what I'm good at, it's a big shout out to you, because that's also something that a lot of people don't know how to be a star player with other star players.
Correct.
So I think that, you know, from this interview and listening to you and knowing what is for you and what isn't for you and what you're good at, I give you a lot of credit for that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. And while we're throwing roses, you know,
I'm very uncomfortable.
you just got like, you, in a sense, you just got there. Like imagine 2028 what the product might be and how many families going to serve. Because one of my main things is that all these products are designed for big cities. What if you're like me and you drive an hour 15 to this rural area who like, what can I use? I can't use this awesome product there. They don't know about the school system's like, hey, give me something I can afford. Right. So it's, you know, it's just to see like where this will go because of the empathy, because of your focus, because of the grassroots, because you still at a core value love people.
Yes.
Right. I'm just blown away.
Well, thank you. But I also want to say, I think part of what attracted me to the company is that it's foundational. It's not just me. It's what attracted me to the founders. It's what leads the everyday decision, to the point I was telling them last night at dinner, to the point where sometimes I have to remind the team, it's okay that we're a business. Those things can coexist. So, you know, we can do right by our customers while also thriving as a business, because if we do not thrive, we cannot provide service. And I think it's such a good parallel to ABA and just like people in mission driven work, that oftentimes there's this discomfort. And so sometimes like that mission foundation can create challenges for people when you start to think about, well, how do we succeed as a business? And so you know, that mission and that empathy, it is like rooted in literally every person who's there. Like we care so much about our customers and what they do.
Because it sounds like you guys. What's that?
I said I need to sign up for a demo.
Yeah, you definitely sign up for a demo. But it sounds like that's what's rooted in the values of the company, though, and that's why values are so important. You've stepped into a place where the values were kind of there. I mean, you're obviously creating your own space, but that's why having those values there is so important. Yeah. So,
well, and for our demos, you know, you mentioned demos. Like we, that was one of the first things I did, was thinking about, okay, well, we have people who want to see our product and use our product. How do I help ensure that we have capacity? And so we were thinking about hiring, and we very intentionally did not hire salespeople. We didn't put in the job description sales. We weren't looking for people with sales backgrounds, because that's a very different mindset than we want to show you the product. We want to hear what your pain points are. We want to see if we can support you. And if we can't, we want to tell you so that we're not just trying to like get people who purely want, like no one gets commission for selling our product. Our entire demo team right now, like, you know, one of the women, she used to work in special education. So a lot of the teammates that we hired, because we weren't a super well-known company. So when we started like putting our roles out there, we said, hey, what attracted you to Office Puzzle? They had some kind of personal connection, and they just felt really inspired by what we were doing. So I'd say it's like human first in every step of it, building the product, selling the product, and supporting our customers.
I can't wait to do a follow-up episode maybe in the next couple of years and see kind of what you guys are doing. All right. My bad, Coop. I know we cannot end without our favorite segment. I know everybody's like, damn, Jerome, you're supposed to be bringing it back to Coop's off the clock. Coop, take us away.
For Coop's off the clock, right? It can be, this question is for marriage, for work, regardless, right? Motherhood. What was something, right? A situation where you were so loud and so wrong and had to come back and admit that you was wrong.
Ooh, think this.
Man, I'm going to have a hard time thinking of just one.
Amen for being honest.
I am very loud. So I pride myself as being someone who I have really strong conviction. I am not shy about my opinions, my beliefs. And if I feel strongly about something, I will fight for it. You can ask my team, my husband.
Husband.
Weirdly enough, I am much better at work admitting when I'm wrong. So like you can change my mind in an instant when you show me why I'm wrong. And I say, oh, you're right. I now agree with you. My husband, it has taken me years to finally be able to go back and say, well, I was kind of a jerk. It's totally my fault. Had nothing to do with you. So I'm having a hard time thinking of like,
how long did that take
example.
You? Like, does that take you like a decade? Because I feel like it took my wife 15.
It's okay. So
a decade. I know this straight answer, straight talk with Joe.
I love you, Z.
I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. I think that this is like way too personal, but I guess
it's off the clock.
Yeah.
Off the clock.
So I think that maybe sometimes husbands want to keep their wives happy, and so they condition them to always be right.
Condition.
And so then
that's true.
You have to then like say, oh wait, he's not actually agreeing, or he's not actually happy with his outcome. He just doesn't want me to get all escalated. So I think part of it was not all me, but
that makes sense.
Princess treatment.
Having having children changed a lot, because I think that as I'm teaching my children's skills, I love children's books. You want to like be motivated and learn and be inspired. You read children's books and you're like, I need this skill. Yes, sometimes I am a grumpy monkey, so trying to like teach my children the skills of how to be a good human really helped me see where I maybe am falling down as a human. So I don't know how, decades, because we've just been together for so long.
Yeah. But so the answer's 10? 15,
no, because 10, I'd probably longer, because we've been together since we were 15.
No,
that's our high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
So
okay, so what was the last situation?
Oh, well, that's personal.
No, I'm saying in general. In general, where you were loud and wrong and you had to come back and apologize.
Loud and wrong.
To your husband.
Or anybody.
I'm just shouting out for her husband because I'm married too.
It's not even that I don't want. I'm actually those are the kinds of interview questions I like to ask in like job interviews, and I make people. I do exactly what you're doing, so I deserve this. But I'm like, how do I'm trying to think of an example. I'm loud and wrong with my children all the time, and one of the big things that like. Here, I'll give it. We'll merge the two. We're going to talk about parenting and that. I have a lot on my plate right now. Right now it is a crazy time, and my kids get home for whatever reason. Public school system, they let them out at like 3:30. Everyone's still working, so we're very fortunate. We live very close to the school. My husband and I both work from home. My kids are pretty independent. They're 6 and 4, and I am okay with TV and endless snacks. So they come home and they do stuff. And my daughter, she's 4. I'm trying to get something done. I'm getting ready to fly out the next day, and she comes in and she's just asking me for a snack and for me to put the TV on for her. And I'm like, hold on. I'm doing my work. And she keeps asking. I'm like, hold on. And I lost it. I snapped at her and I yelled at her. And sorry, I'm going to cry. I'm a very emotional person. And she ran off and she hid behind a chair and she started crying. And it hit me in that moment. I was like, she didn't do anything wrong. I'm stressed. I'm taking out my stress on a 4-year-old. And so it took me a moment. I had to reset because like we all, we are still human, and parents mess up. So I calmed myself down, and then I went over to her and I said, I was wrong. I am so sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you. Will you forgive me? So I regularly apologize to my children because I am not a perfect mother, and it hurts every time I make those mistakes. But then I realize I'm teaching her in that moment that you can make a mistake and then you can come back and you can show people how you care about them. So that will be my last one.
I love it.
That was Coop's off the clock. That was Coop's off the clock. Now we appreciate your vulnerability and being honest with us. Yeah. I want to, as we start to wind this episode down, it's holiday season, so I got to ask you a holiday question, and then we'll end out with some office puzzle things. But what tradition do you as a family, or even you kind of coming up, what do you look most forward to during the holiday season, particularly like Christmas, kind of New Year time?
Yeah, I have the perfect one. So I come from a pretty big family. I'm the oldest of 6 kids from South Florida. And, my parents were separated, so I just had lots of family, lots of holiday celebration. And my mom is Cuban and Guatemalan. So we always celebrated Christmas Eve and would, cook Cuban food, ropa vieja and rice and beans and just like, it was like a whole big thing. And there were like always 20 people in our house. Moving to Denver, it's just my husband and I and the two kids, and it's so expensive to fly for the holidays. So often it's just us celebrating. And my husband, who is not Cuban, has learned to cook, and he loves cooking, and he's learned to cook all the food that my family makes.
Great chef. You told me he's a great chef.
Yeah, he's an amazing. He cooks and he like makes a whole feast, and it's purely it's for me, it's for us. Kind of keeping that family culture. My kids will not eat it, but it just feels important to me that we keep some of that Latin culture. And we actually in our Christmas playlist have a lot of the music that we would play, like, and it was not Christmas music. It was like Latin music that we're playing for the holidays. So for us, Latin music is kind of holiday music.
That's fun.
So yeah.
I love that. Man, this has been a fun time. I feel like we laughed and now we've cried.
I cry almost daily.
This is what we do here. But before we wrap, what message would you like to leave maybe providers or agency owners or clinicians listening today? Like, what do you hope they take away just from you, Office Puzzle, and just kind of supporting them more effectively? Like, what do you want people to kind of take away?
I think similar to what I said earlier, treat yourself to the tools that you need. Think about it as an investment, regardless of what tool. Like I'm not a good salesperson, John. But regardless of what tool, find the tool that you need and treat yourself to it. Don't hold back and wait. Oh, well, once I have a client, once I have that, because you're setting yourself up to be able to be successful and to serve your clients better. And then I'd say from there, when you're thinking about how you want to get started and what you need, make sure that you're thinking beyond the technology and the product. So you need to make sure that you have absolutely everything that you need there. But how are you going to be supported? We've all had tools, and I'm not talking about competitors. I'm just saying in general, the tools we use day to day where they just drive you crazy. You pull your hair out. You can't get a hold of anyone. And you're like, why am I paying them money? So, making sure that you are assessing the technology, but you're also assessing the team and, the support that you're going to get. Because a lot of times in these smaller practices, you can think about your technology providers as an extension of your team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, if you've been listening, I hope this has resonated with you. Make sure you're following Office Puzzle. What are you guys on socials? And your website, so we can put it down? Socials.
Yeah, so we're on www.officepuzzle.com. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys for that. Keep an eye out for the ABA Collab Office Puzzle pilot program. Shout out to Alex G Productions for always being behind the camera, always doing great work behind there. We thank you for being here. We thank you for your vulnerability, your transparency, and all your investments in the community and the work that you're doing. I think this is the start of something super meaningful, and we can't wait to look forward to seeing kind of how everything pans out for you guys. So thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, happy to be here. Right. Thank you.
All right, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Happy holidays to you guys before we put this out. Well, no, actually, we'll put this out after New Year, actually. So I'm going to say Happy New Year to you guys now. But thank you guys for following our journey. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all you guys that are following us. Thank you guys for all your support. And we'll see you guys next time on Beyond the Science.